Welcome back to the Better Everyday podcast, where we are unlocking our best self one episode at a time. My name is David Garcia, and this is my beautiful wife, Grace Garcia.
Hi.
Hi. We are back. This is episode 3 of season 3. The last episode was very well received. It seems like people really like when we have guests. Maybe people are tired of just listening to me and you.
Yeah, we need more guests.
But this year we are planning to have a good amount of guests. Mm-hmm. Last year, I feel like I don't think we had any, just my family at the very end. But yeah, we are planning to have more guests this year. We see that you guys really like it. And yeah, it helps when those guests actually share the content as well. Mm-hmm. It definitely helps.
Oh, like that.
Yeah. But it was a really good episode. A really good insight about, all the PK stuff and what you guys went through. Mm-hmm. I think while I was editing it, there was a good amount that we didn't really touch too. So
yeah, that's why at the end I was like, oh, we could do a part 2. Like I could have kept talking for a while.
Yeah, there's definitely more stuff to talk about. The good, the bad, the habits and stuff. Mm-hmm. But here we are, episode 3. Any updates since the last episode, which was last week for you? Oh, tomorrow you're going to be preaching?
Tomorrow I'm going to be preaching. 2 Wednesdays back to back, our midweek services. Mm-hmm. And so I've been busy. I've been super busy. I have to do a training. I don't have to. I get to. Mm-hmm. I've been observed at school. I ran 25 miles this weekend.
Yeah.
So when I say like I've been busy, like I mean like busier than I think ever. And so just trying to do it with grace.
Do you think you've made the most out of all those things?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can only speak. You're my husband, but I think before it would consume me. I mean, not that I'm not stressed. Like I'm telling you, I'm stressed. I'm tired, but I think I would take it out on my kids, take it out on you. Like you can see my demeanor of like, oh, like stay away.
Yeah.
And at the end of last year, I was getting myself busy, but I was like, oh, I think I'm getting like the rhythm of like, there is going to be busy seasons, but there'll be restful seasons and learning how to balance it. And I am not as a hardcore procrastinator as I used to be. Mm-hmm. And so that helps for sure.
Yeah. The reason why I asked that is that I feel like some people do a lot, but then at the end of it, they go, what do I have to show for it? Like, what was the outcome? What did I do it for? Some people do it selflessly, like certain things, acts of service or whatever. And they go, well, there was value in it. But some people just literally go like, I don't know, I just busted my butt and I feel like I got completely nothing out of it. So for you to be all those types of busy, I think that's a very important question to ask. Like, do you feel like it was purposeful? Because it's very important for things that you do, especially when you end up being very busy in like a certain week or a certain time period or a season. Like, is it purposeful? Are you blessing other people? Are you growing? Like, there's all these things that I think there should be like check marks beside of like, okay, this kind of like signs it off as like purposeful. Like there's something behind it. It's not just to burn you out. It's part of your passion. It's part of who you are, Yeah.
I do think I feel like that could be like its own podcast. Like, I guess like the purpose of busyness or if it's in vain, how you said, but I've been more intentional of saying yes to things that I feel that is in my lane and not just because I can. I'm going to do it and say no to things where I'm like, I'm just going to waste my time. And so I do think it's all purposeful. I forgot to mention the study hub too. I'm a teacher on top of that on the study hub on Mondays. But these are like, I love teaching. It's like part of my essence. So it makes my craft better. I love imparting wisdom. And so I feel like I am doing it on their behalf. And some people have come up and said like, thank you for that insight. I think it has taught me again about how to balance it all with grace, how to manage my time. I've gotten better at it. And I think it's great seeing like the befores and afters of like, how would have I handled this season in years past? And and be like, oh, look, there is growth. Like I'm proving it to myself. And yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's definitely been growth, and I think also a change of perspective. Because I think in another season, you could have been doing exactly the same thing as right now, and you would have been, like you said, like very wound up tight, because you want everything to be perfect, or you want to like stay on top of everything, or you might be procrastinating on things, like you might be like on the brink of snapping at any moment. But now I feel like there's been like maybe a shift in your perspective in regards to, just like you said right now, like I don't have to do it, but I get to do it. Like it's part of who I am. And I think when you change that perspective there, like like your attitude changes, your personality changes, the way that you handle things changes. And I've definitely seen that where, I don't know, there's been something that changed in you where you're happy to do the things that you're doing, and I don't know, again, change of perspective, maybe a change of perspective in regards to like your passion of who you are. Like, I don't know exactly, can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but you've definitely had this like shift in you. So,
Okay, thank you. And I think it just aligns more to, like, not to say that I guess the stuff I was doing before maybe wasn't my calling, or maybe it was like busy work, because I was known for just piling things up on my plate, even if there was no reason, like just because I felt like proving to myself I can do it. And that's not a good mindset to have, of like, just let me do it just because I can. And I guess like the ego, like, I'm just busy, it sounds nice, versus it, how you said it kind of aligns with my passion. Like it's my lane, what God has called me to do. And so it kind of reinforces is like, this is what I'm here for. Like I get to do, like live out my ministry. But what's also helped is what I told you in the kitchen, that before I wouldn't have allowed myself grace. Like this weekend, I had to be realistic with myself. Like I'm running 25 miles, and I was thinking like, should I clean after that? And I was like, no, like your body went through a lot, like give it rest. And then the next day it was Super Bowl Sunday. And so we already had plans to be with friends. And so I was like, I don't want to like stress out. Before I would have been like, let's not go to church so we can clean, so that then we can enjoy Super Bowl. But I'm like, that's not the right mindset of like sacrificing church to clean or whatever. And so I just decided to like give myself grace. And again, it helps that I have a week off next week, but I was like, I can't do it all. And I think before I would have like, it would have just bugged me like, oh, the house is a mess. And I would just like dwell on it and felt like a failure and be like, I can't breathe until we did what we said we were going to do, like our chores and stuff. And the fact that I extended that grace to myself and it's like, oh, it is what it is. Like, I don't know. I feel like that helped a lot too.
yeah, for sure. And as you were speaking, it just reminded me of the book that I'm reading right now, which is called Beyond High Performance, which I've been sharing a little bit with you, little snippets of the book. If you are a leader or somebody who sees himself as a high performer, this book is definitely for you. It's a pretty easy read, but definitely insightful. Definitely is starting to help me like change certain perspectives and starting to gain a little more, how do I say, like putting words to, certain feelings that I didn't have, putting ideas together. And I'm about halfway through, and it's a really good book. Nice. And it's all about high performers, people who just like go, 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 go. And there's obviously definitely a lot of pros in that, but there's a lot of cons in that. But yeah, I definitely endorse that book. If you guys want to go out and get it, definitely a really good book for high performers. But
I need to read it. I'm a high performer, and I know you like send it to me.
You should read it. And I mean, granted, you read books in like 2 days, so you'd be able to like finish it really fast.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it's just like your romantic novels that you read in like 2 days, but
I mean, I'm like constantly reading. Like right now, I feel like as a teacher, like I already read the book that I assigned to my students, but I want to be reading with them. Like I want a fresh perspective. Like, okay, what did they just read and assign it? I'm reading the Bible and that book. And then just like the regular textbook at the school. And so I feel like I'm constantly reading, so I need like a pause once I'm probably on break next quarter.
Or the next time you go to your little spa thing. No, that's just dedicated for your novels, huh?
That's for me to like unplug from ministry, from family. It's literally just to be a girl. It's to be a girl.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to today's episode. So today's episode, I think is a topic that we haven't really touched on. We've kind of tiptoed around it, but I think it's super important, especially with the first episode that we put out for this new season. It's very important for us to talk about this, and I think it's going to benefit a lot of you. And basically the topic is, if you don't plan to succeed, you plan to fail. And I believe that we've said that phrase here before. And basically, we've talked about it in the context of a plan is super, super important for us to succeed in anything. How many times have you said that you want to be healthier this year, or that you want to be more financially wise, or you want to get out of debt this year, or you want to build an emergency fund, or you want to start investing, or you want to lose a certain amount of weight, or you want to fight back some sort of disease or sickness that you have? Like, how many times have you said that, but you've never really planned it out? And so it's always been by just feelings. Let me wake up and see what I feel like doing today. I feel like saving $50 today. And then tomorrow I feel like saving only $2. And the next day I feel like spending more than I really have. Like, what plan do you have? And again, we've said it before. If you don't have a plan to succeed, then you plan to fail, which is true, because we're going to break it down in this episode. But the very gist of everything is, you should have a plan. You should have a specific goal. When you have a specific goal, then what comes under it is kind of the steps that you need to take to be able to get to that goal. So I want this to be a conversation. So I want to ask you first, have you ever felt like there's been an area in your life where you were kind of vague with certain goals, and you notice a big change when you finally put down a plan?
Mm-hmm. The most recent one I can think about, just again, because it's kind of consuming me, I think, are like my health goals. I just wanted to show you that I can run a half marathon. Like, that's all. It was like generic. Like, I'm just going to run this half marathon. And it wasn't until like actively running where I'm like, okay, this is a little bit more like complex. Then you have to know like the zone 2s and the strength training and the eating and the sleep. And in the beginning, like, I knew about that, but it just seems so overwhelming that you're just like, let me just do it. And then little by little, you feel like you hit a wall, and you're like, okay, I need to then take this into like consideration and do baby steps. And I'm someone who, I do believe how we said, like, I feel like I am a high performer, but I'm not like you that turns on a switch. We always said that, like, you just have one switch and it's on or off, and you can do all of these things in like a day if you want. You do your research and then you'll just implement everything at once. That's not me. Like, I have to ease my way into it. But then once I ease my way into it, like, I lock in. And so that's probably the most recent example I can think of.
Yeah. That's a good example. If you want to do something like run a half marathon, run a full marathon, like, you need a plan. If you don't have a plan, I mean, chances are you're setting yourself up for failure. You're going to get injured. You're not going to be able to even finish.
Yeah. Or not even just set up yourself for failure, but like not see what you're capable of. And I think there's so many people that they're fine with that, but it like irks me. Like, there's something inside of me that it's like, I want to know what grace is made out of. And so I don't think if I decide, like, for this full marathon, people are telling me like, oh, you're running it? Like, yeah, like, oh, right now you should just be worried about just like finishing it. And it's like, yeah, I can. Same thing with the half marathon. Like, it was my first one. I just started in the summer in July, and the race was in October. And a lot of people just like, the first goal is just finishing it. But I was like, no, I need to know what the average is. Okay, I want to get to at least the average, or like try to beat it. And then that same thing with the marathon. Okay, it's my first marathon. Like, am I being too eager with like trying to get a certain like number and amount? But it's like, if I'm not like pushing myself, like then why am I even doing it? Like, yeah, anyone can walk it and finish it. Yes. But it's like, don't you want to know what you're like made out of if you just give it like your all? I think that's kind of where my head's at.
I really like that you said that because, and that's also a great contrast to how you were before. And you didn't even think about this, I don't think, but I remember a Grace that was a master procrastinator. And you've like told me something along the lines basically
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to do the work during all this time. Like, I know that I'm that type of person that I could do it last minute and I'll be completely fine.
Yeah. I think there was like two Grace, like I kind of co-inhabited the same body at the same time, if that makes sense. Because I think the Grace that I was talking about of like wanting to see what I'm made out of came out during giving birth to my kids. I'm like, I don't want meds. Like I want to see, like, I'm made for this. I know God told me, like, you know, like women are made for this. So I want to see if I am capable of it. Same thing with breastfeeding. Like when they said you can't breastfeed, I was like, you're telling me if we were in the cave times, like I would be like survival of the fittest. Me, like my child would die because I can't breastfeed. And I'm like, no, like I want to see like what we're made out of. And I think like that pride and stubbornness would show up in moments like that where it's like, I'm going to give it my all. But yes, I think growing up, well, children like comfort. And so it just takes a few times to procrastinate and then you kind of get in the habit of it. But then I think in college, it did become a fear of me of like, what if I'm not smart enough? And so it kind of became a crutch of like, I can easily say, well, I didn't study. So like if I, especially me with someone who like values success, like as a 3, like you value achieving, your identity kind of gets tied into it. And so you start putting value like I am smart or I'm good if I achieve that. And so it's easier to like not try so that if you do fail, you could blame it on that and not on you. And so it was just easier to like half-ass it all the time because it's like, oh, if I do good, dang, I'm smart. I didn't even try. But if I do bad, like, oh, I didn't even try, you know? And that was me like in school. But I think it comes from like a fear of failing. Yeah,
that's classic you. But
not classic. I'm changing. That's old me.
But yeah, the contrast that I'm talking about, that used to be you, the whole procrastinating. And now you're talking about, and I really like what you said. And it made me think of like just a person that says, I want to squeeze the juice out of me. And I've always believed like potential without action is just a waste of energy. Like, if you've ever heard somebody tell you like you have great potential, like that literally means nothing. It means, well, it doesn't mean nothing, but it means like you have something great, but it means nothing until you do something about it.
Yeah.
Like potential is literally like, I don't know. It's almost like potential is like $1 waiting to turn into 100. But if you don't do nothing with that $1, like it'll be $1 or 0 one day.
Yeah.
And that's what I really heard from what you said. Like I wanted to see what I was made out of. I wanted to see if I could do, if you could give birth, if you could do it without meds. Like I wanted to see if I could do this half marathon. And now I want to see if I can do the full marathon. And now you have a certain goal that you are chasing after. And you're working towards it. You got this plan. You got it from ChatGPT, but you got a plan.
Hey, it was good on the half marathon.
Yeah. But I really like that because it's not just about getting to the goal, but it's just like, how good can I get to that goal? Or can I even exceed that goal? And I think that's huge. And I really want to emphasize, it's very important for somebody to pick a specific goal. Because if somebody says, this year I want to be successful, what does that mean? This year I want to have more money. What does that mean? This year I want to be healthy. What does that mean?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Because if your first step, you're saying to pick a goal, right?
Pick a specific goal, yes.
Because I know there's been times where I've heard that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, like if you're afraid of failure or you kind of tie that into your identity, what would you say to the people who maybe have picked a goal and it's failed for whatever reason, and so they're like afraid because it's like, I'm be dumb, like it's not gonna come by, or they're again afraid of reaching too high, and so they're just like, I'm not.
No. You should pick a goal that is a little seemingly outside of what you can do. I think you limit yourself when you do something, basically like saying like, oh, this year I want to save $200. Like it's honestly, even for the worst case scenarios, to save $200 is not that hard. Like if you really buckle down, $200 should not be that hard. So you shouldn't set the bar low, because then you're limiting yourself. I think, my personal opinion, that you should set the bar higher than you think that you can really go, so you can really, again, like you said, I want to see what I'm made of. I want to see if I can actually meet it. And you're talking about somebody who didn't, let's say, reach the goal, and you call it failure. In my vocabulary, failure is not meeting the goal. Failure to me is I quit. Failure to me is always I quit and I walked away. That is failure. As long as you did not do that, you did not fail. Like if you still have breath in your lungs, you did not fail. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that, and why I think, why I think the way that I do things is correct, because, and here I'm going to explain it to you. You set a goal that's like pretty high up, attainable, but I'm going to really have to buckle down. I'm going to really have to practice discipline. I'm going to have to really hone in my character. I'm going to really have to hone in my urges and all this stuff. Right. Yeah. But it seems next to impossible, but I know that if I buckle down, I could do it. Right. After you have a specific goal. Oh, well, let me fast forward a little bit. You don't reach it. But I think during the whole journey of you trying to reach this goal, you should have data. So whether that's losing weight, data of like whatever, like once a day you weigh yourself, or once a week you weigh yourself, like how are you going, up and down, whatever, like it's a graph. If it's saving money, then obviously every week you're checking, how much did I save? Again, you did not reach that goal, but at the end of it, if you look at the data and you see where you started from and where you ended up, like there's no way you can look at yourself and be like, I was a failure. Unless, again, you completely quit and you walked away. So that's what I would say to those people. Mark down the data, and the data will always show, I put in the effort, I grew, I got better, and next year is only going to get better. And that, again, goes along with our complete motto of getting better every single day. Like there should be tangible data that you can see where you're seeing, I'm getting better.
You did teach me a lot about data. Mm-hmm. I say data, you said data. I don't know which one's right, but it took a while. Mind you, we've been married for 9 and a half years, and most of our marriage, you were the data guy, and I like didn't care about it. It's only been, I think, maybe the last 2 years where I started with like TikTok, and then recently, I don't know, I'm gonna just say it. It's an adult podcast. Now with like our sex life, I like keep track because it's like a goal I want to do. And I do feel like, at least with our sex life, I feel like it's been helping, like seeing, because before it was just based off of feeling. Like I think we don't do it a lot, or I think we do. And it's just like, I need to see, you know? So for that, it's been helpful, but I'm not going to lie, for like the TikTok data, it's been so depressing. It's so frustrating. And I think seeing the numbers and they're like going down, or like seeing the amounts made like 2 years ago, or whatever. Like I'm still keeping track of like the data, like how much money I have 2 separate data accounts for TikTok. Mm-hmm. when I say data, I'm talking about like a little note app. I'm not like, he does sometimes like graphs and like charts and all this stuff. I just on my notepad, but it's data. I'm getting there. I have one for my TikTok followers, like all my social media across all the platforms. And then most of them are growing, except TikTok's slowly like losing. And then there'll be a week where it grows, and then the next week it like all of the same followers get lost. It's so frustrating. And then about the money, like how much money's coming in. And that, like, I'm still pushing it, but that is, it's frustrating. Like the data is not helping my mental
And I think
state.
that's part of what I wanted to touch on as well, is we can have a plan, and we can have a goal, we can have a plan. And we know as well as anybody that there's things that are outside of our control. There's things where life throws a curveball, and we've talked about that. The curveballs that life throws, certain things that God shifts where it's outside of our control. And I think with that type of situation, like that type of situation could be similar to, I was planning to save X amount of money this year, let's say $15,000 to go towards being able to purchase a house. But in the middle of it, a family member got sick and I had to help them out, and there went, let's say $7,000. Like that's life's curveball. Like we can't plan for that type of thing. But again, I always go back to, if you don't have a plan to succeed, you plan to fail. And I think what should encourage people in your kind of situation, or in the money situation, or in maybe losing weight situation, or a health situation, and life throws a curveball at you, what should bring you solace is, did I set out a plan? Did I set a goal? Did I make my plan, and have I been sticking to it? And you have data on that. Like, let's say for your TikTok, the question for yourself, and you don't have to answer, but like for yourself would be, am I doing what got me to the ball game? Which you've said before, like it's 3 videos a week, this video, that video, blah, 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 brand deals and da, 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 da. Like, have you been keeping up with your discipline? Have you been keeping up with your plan? And you for sure have tangible data for that. And it's like, if you have, then that should be a solace to you. Like, I'm sticking to the plan. Now the rest is up to God. Like,
Yeah.
I can only do my part.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
I mean, in the creative space, it's a little more tricky as well, though, because the creative space tends to shift every so often. The algorithm tends to change every so often. And so like with the creative space, it's a little bit more tricky because you have to keep up with whatever the trends are, however this thing is moving. Like it's definitely a lot trickier and has a lot more curveballs than like something more less curveballish, like saving money or losing weight or getting healthy or being spiritual. Like, okay, that's another one, like a spiritual goal. Like you set out to read the Bible every day and journal, and you're on book, 3 or 4, I think. And I'll never forget the first time you're like, David, I finished the book. Now I'm moving on to the next one. That book is obviously like, there's a lot of spiritual like weight to it, but also there's a lot of evidence of the discipline that you put in, like that you stuck to a plan, that you set a goal and you stuck to it. Like the evidence is there. Like you can never unwrite all those things. And so again, like it works for all parts of your life.
That's good.
But going back to it, we said you need to have a specific goal, and it has to be specific. And this is actually a biblical principle. There's a verse, I believe in Habakkuk, that basically says, write down the vision and make it clear. Like make it clear, which for me means make it specific. Like, don't just say, I want to be successful this year. Don't say, I want to be a influencer this year. Don't say, I just want to save as much money as I can. I want to be as healthy as I can. I want to be as spiritually disciplined as I can. Like, that's too general. It needs to be a specific goal. So I want to read the Bible and journal every single day. That's a specific goal. I want to save $20,000 this year. That's a specific goal. I want to lose 30 pounds this year. That's a specific goal. I want to eat healthy every single day. I want to eat within X amount of calories, or I want to eat this many fruits and vegetables every single day so I can combat whatever it is, diabetes or whatever disease that you have, or obesity, whatever it is. I want to be able to get out of debt, and my debt is $37,000 right now. I want to be able to do that. And here's how I'm going to be able to do that. So set the specific goal. That is the very first step.
And I don't know if you've heard of the acronym SMART goal.
No.
I think it's like so SMART is an acronym, specific. I think it's measurable, attainable. I forgot what the R is, but I think it's then like timely.
Okay.
And so that's like, we're like what you're saying, right? Like make sure you can measure this somehow, make sure it's timely, attainable, all that stuff. So SMART goal, look up the acronym.
Yeah. So set the specific goal. And another saying that we've said here before, and I truly embrace, is success is when preparation meets opportunity. And so success would be reaching that goal. And the next step after stating that specific goal, once you state that specific goal, then the steps will start to outline for themselves. Meaning, if I want to save $20,000, then the steps are I need to save money. Okay, well, let's call it 12 just to make it, simple math. I want to save $12,000. So what does that look like over a year? It looks like $1,000 every single month. Okay. Now you start breaking it down. How can I save $1,000 every single month? Okay, what does my budget look like right now? My budget looks like, with everything that I have, I can save $550. Okay, so now the next part that it's starting to reveal to you is I need to make more money, or I need to cut down on my spending. So you start looking at cutting down on your spending. And maybe after cutting out, eating out as much, or extracurricular activities, or subscription that you probably don't need anymore, you start doing that. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can actually save $770. So now you're $230 shy. Okay, how am I going to make that up? Okay, now once I feel like I've cut the most that I can, it comes down to I need to make more money. So as these things start, as you start after the specific goal, you start seeing all the steps kind of unfold before you. And it starts dictating, what do I need to do to get there? And it doesn't matter, what it is that you pick. Again, it could be a spiritual discipline. I want to read the Bible and journal every single day. So what does that entail? Well, I need to buy a journal. I need to make sure I wake up in the morning and I read the Bible. That one's pretty self-explanatory. It's just you need discipline.
Yeah.
It's a little more easier, less steps or whatever. But if we're looking at the health as well, okay, I want to lose 30 pounds this year. And a lot of people go, I want to look ripped this year. But let's talk about poundage, okay? Because a lot of people don't know how much weight they have to lose to be able to look ripped. A lot of people think 30 pounds and I'll be, I'll look ripped. And for a lot of people that's just not it. A lot of us are overweight without knowing that we're overweight. For me, myself, if I go to the doctor right now, my doctor will tell me you are overweight, buddy. And a lot of people will look at me and be like, you don't look overweight. But I am. Well, according to, the way that they measure things.
BMI index.
Yeah. But anyways, so specific goal, I want to lose 30 pounds this year. All right, cool. How am I going to do that? Well, whether you like it or not, you have to measure your calories. Now, here's the thing. With a lot of these goals that you guys are going to set out, it requires steps where the lazy person in you will not want to do it, or the comfortable person in you will not want to do it. Like counting calories. You don't know how many people I've told, hey, you need to start counting calories. Oh my goodness. And I'm looking at one of them. Oh my goodness. I have to buy a scale, and then I have to put out a plate, and then I have to put the thing, and then I have to measure how many grams, and then I have to put it into an app. No. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Well, guess what? Your eyeballs are attached to your feelings, and your feelings are pretty treacherous. It's the same thing with money. Like, I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna actually budget. I'm just gonna try my best and see what happens. And maybe you're supposed to save $1,000 in a month, and based on your feelings and eyeballing it, you only save $330, and you're like, oh, well, I felt like I tried. It's like, no, you didn't put down a plan. The specific goals should be written down, and your plan should be written down, because now you are now holding yourself accountable to have integrity and discipline to be able to uphold this plan that you've placed out. Now, the question also, before we keep moving, is how important is this goal to you?
That's for sure, I think, a good question, because there's people who could be like, I know I should have this goal down, and they do it because they know they should, or it's the trend, and then they can't even last like a week in the new year, and it's because they really didn't want to, or I think like are ready for it, or are realistic, which I'm curious as to what you think about that, because I don't like counting. I don't like counting anything with math, but you again have this switch. But me, it's like I feel like I'm a pretty disciplined person. Mm-hmm. I can get better, obviously, in like a lot of areas. But the way I approach things, I feel like is very different. So you see it as like, okay, I need to lose 30 pounds, right? And you're just like, all right, I'm just going to buy all the things I need to do. I'm just going to start all this like tomorrow. I know if I were to do that, if I'm realistic with myself, and if I was like, okay, I need to lose 30 pounds, and I already like approach it that way, your method, I'm not going to be able to last because it's overwhelming. And my personality or my life wasn't like prepped to take it on. Like I wasn't like ready for it. And so I wonder if you think there are people or goals that if you are too ambitious up front and you don't know yourself and don't take that into account into the planning process, you're going to like bite off more than you could chew or like burn yourself out too quick. Versus if you have to be, and I think a lot of the time when you make goals, you should see the ugly parts of yourself. Like you should look at a mirror and be uncomfortable and be like, the reality is that I'm lazy. Like if we talk about like the Bible one, right? Mm-hmm. Like the reality is that I am lazy and that I want as much sleep as I can get, and like waking up is hard or whatever. But like if you know that about yourself already, then you can plan for that. And so you're going to say like, okay, I'm not going to put my alarm and my phone right next to me because I'm just going to hit snooze and my body's going to want to sleep in. So I have to like force myself. Like maybe I'll put it in the next room and it'd be super loud where like I'm forced to get up if I know that I can't handle like turning off my alarm in the first time or whatever it is. And so in that same scenario where you're like, counting calories, like first it's like, okay, let me eat cleaner calories. That could be like the first baby step. Mm-hmm. And the second baby step is like, okay, let me put this all into like an app. And then let me figure out when in the days to eat it. And once I have the habits going, let me like little at a time. And so I wonder if you've ever approached things like that because you're just like such a like a flip switcher, or if you think there's space in the process planning for people to be like, all right, be real with yourself. Because like I hear a lot of people, they get so eager and they're like, I bought the stuff, like everything that I need. And then you see it and muerto de la risa en la esquina because they were so excited and they didn't like plan for it, I guess you could say.
And I think this is the beauty of me and you doing this podcast is I wouldn't even call it a balance, but it's just two different perspectives because, especially nowadays, you can't really say I'm right and you're wrong and you're right and I'm wrong. Like,
but I am just kidding.
No, because I mean, I can only speak to people that
have a switch.
Yeah, like have a similar mindset as me, right? Because to give in to something like what you're saying, for me, is like denying myself and denying like that I believe that my way works. Like my way works for me. Mm-hmm. And when I think about somebody like that, hey, like, let's just, take it easy, like for example, we go back to the savings, like the person that thought if I really buckle down, I could do 1,000, but it's too hard. I don't want to burn myself out. Let's just do $200 a month. Let's just do that. And they do $200 a month. And you see them, spending here and spending there. And let's say you were their mentor or whatever. Tell me, and this is we're talking about Grace Garcia here right now. If you, Grace Garcia, with this mentality that you just presented, and it seems like that's your approach, had somebody that you were mentoring, that they were open to you, vulnerable to you, allowed you to speak into their life and allowed you to correct them, and you see them saving only $200, and they have fully been transparent to you, and so you're seeing money go here and there and there and there. Tell me there's not a part of you that would go, buddy, ma'am, sister, whatever, like, you can do way better than your $200.
Oh, for sure. But I think maybe that's where we're similar is that we're high performers, because I naturally want to get better every day. That's why the podcast is called this. And so I'm not like happy with just like, no one has to tell me do more. Like I get in a rhythm, I accomplish something, and then I'm like, okay, I think I could take this up a notch. Like it's just why that is wired in me. I feel like where I cannot understand, and maybe we need a third perspective in this podcast, because I can't. Well, that's kind of you actually. And when it comes to like career wise, at least, I can't understand being content with like having one job and just like not ask like for like a raise, which there's character in that, like being content in any situation. But like it irks me if I know like I can get more, if I can just look for better or whatever. And so that I can't speak to, because I think if I saw someone who did a great job at saving the 200 in the beginning, the natural next step is like, okay, what can you do now? Like, let's pick it up a notch. I can't just leave it there. And so my goal, well, the whole point, I guess, of these goals are to establish these SMART goals, but that kind of like with the Dave Ramsey's snowball effect, where his whole point is not really like, the snowball effect is not really logical of like, let's tackle the one with the most interest or something like that.
No. You start with the smallest.
Yeah, but it's not logical of like the one that you maybe should tackle first. It's just what's the most attainable, because his whole thing is you get addicted to the feeling and you start speaking into that identity that you could do it. And that just gets the snowball rolling. It feels good. I was able to accomplish this. And so I want to do the next one. I want to do the next one. And so that's kind of like where I'm approaching it, where it's not like an easy, like lazy way. Cause I feel like just you explaining it back to me, I'm like, oh, this guy thinks it's just like the sissy way. But it's like, let's build their identity so that when they carry it, they can sustain it. And not, let's just throw this all on them. And then they crash and they just like, I'm not disciplined. I'm not healthy. I'm not, because they couldn't carry it. We didn't like build that identity in them.
Yeah, and I think that is part of the consideration that you should have when making that specific goal is what is the cost of you getting there. And I honestly, I don't even like saying that, because my hopes is that everybody says like, oh, it's worth it. It's 100% worth it. Like, but a lot of people don't have, or some people don't have the mentality of like seeing the vision.
Yeah.
And so not seeing that vision doesn't help them, like, just like, no, this is going to be too hard. Like, but if only they could see just a glimpse of what that will look like in 1 year or 2 years or whatever. Like if they could see that glimpse, and I'm talking to the people that don't tend to like really see into the future or see that vision or whatever, like if they could only see a glimpse, like that would be, I think, a spark enough for them to be like, okay, I have to I have to. And sometimes the glimpses are the people that are around us, but that's also like negative or bad. Like, because obviously, you know, two different lives, two different journeys, two different ways of being or whatever. So you shouldn't be comparing yourself. But like, especially like, oh man, like you do need to weigh the cost of what you want to do. And I think with weighing the cost also, you should budget your time, you should budget your money, and you should budget your resources or your energy, like your mental capacity. Can you do it? Does it fit onto your plate? I think those are three very important things. And I guess maybe the way that I would say is write the specific goal and write the steps to get to that goal. And then that's basically a proposal to yourself. And you look at it and you're just like, okay, let's say if they went extreme, if there's like a David, a junior or whatever, and they're like, okay, this seems really, really hard. And then you choose like, am I going to do it or not? And I think at that point, if you've written down the goal, if you've written down the steps, if you've seen what it's going to cost and you've come to the conclusion like it'll be worth it or not worth it, then at that point, I think you could do what you're saying. Okay, let me adjust it. This seems like a little bit extreme. Like, let's say I'm not going to save $1,000 a month, and let's bring it down to like $600. Let's start with that. And then you look at it, you're like, oh, my life won't change that much if I just save $600. Okay, cool. Let's start with that. And then you do it and you do it and you do exactly what you're saying. You're building up the identity. This is who I am. I'm very disciplined. I'm a person that's financially wise. I'm a person that I'm chasing goals, that I'm accomplishing things. And that's great. And you could definitely do that. You could definitely do that. But the question that I will always ask anybody who asks me to help them, like with certain things like this, like a goal, the question that I will always ask is, how fast do you want to get this done? Because how fast you want to get this done will dictate how extreme or not extreme it's gonna be. The problem is that the more time that you leave to get this specific goal, the more time that you leave for life to throw a curveball. Me and you have been there before. We want to get rid of a lease and we want to get a car or something like that. And we get the car and 6 months later, it completely breaks down. And guess what? Now we have to pay $4,000 to fix this car. We've been there before.
Yeah.
The more time that we leave out there is more time that life can throw a curveball.
That's just like marathon training, huh? Like the more time on your feet.
Yes, 100%.
Like just these lessons.
And so write down a specific goal, write down the plan. The specific goal will dictate the plan that you need to take. If you need help, like getting those steps, I mean, me and Grace are here. We've done it with finances. We've done it with health. We're here to help any way that we can. We could sit down easily, no charge, and we'll just help you write this down. And again, it'll be a specific goal. We'll find out the steps, and it'll be a proposal to yourself. Is this worth it? Do you want to do it? Are you willing to pay the price? You want to say something?
I was going to say something half jokingly, half not. Like take advantage, because this is a beginner's like entry, like a founding fee where it's like waived. And so take advantage now, because later there will be fees.
And she's not joking about her whole, like, I can't believe people are just okay with one income. Like, I'm trying to find different incomes.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the hustler me, where, like, no, we can monetize everything.
Yeah. But yeah, and then once you've done all that and you finally honed it in, then it's just executing. Then it's just practicing everything that we've talked about. The discipline, the determination, the grit, because you'll have struggles and life will throw curveballs, and regardless of those curveballs, will you keep going? Like, we've been there. We got out of debt. We built an emergency fund. I've lost weight. We've done races. We're about to train for a marathon or about to run a marathon. Like, we have all these things that we've accomplished. And I truly believe that our life started to change for the better when we started to have a specific goal and we started to have a plan. Especially in the financial part, like, things did not change until we had a plan and we stuck to it. Mm. And, go ahead.
I think for me, it changed when I thought I could achieve it. Because it goes back to, like, if the goal seemed too overwhelming for me. Like, if you told me I was going to run a marathon in summer, I'd be like, you're crazy. That's not me. I never want to do that, right? But when I broke it up into, like, these small steps of, like, let me go to physical therapy. Let me heal my dad's recti. Oh, let me run 3 miles. Oh, 7, 13. Oh, yeah, this is, like, so doable. Mm-hmm. That now I'm like, I literally thought inside of my, I could do an ultra marathon. Like, I could do it. Not that I don't want to. I'm telling myself I don't want to.
Nah, you're going to do it.
And no, I'm not. It's so time consuming. It's not worth the time for me, my energy. But
yeah, but everybody does marathons now. You might as well just do an ultra marathon.
No, but then I analyze it and I'm like, it's selfish. It's just for me. And I don't need that. I don't need my ego higher. Like, I need to focus my energy on things that can actually help people and me in other ways.
You could help people.
No. Ultra marathons don't do anything good for people. That's where more injuries are prone to happen. Nah. Yeah, after a while, it's just like not even health anymore. Like, you're ruining your body, like with the impact. Running is hard on your bones.
No.
Anyways. Oh, so for me, I think it changed. Even like our finances, I think was the first goal as a married couple that we like accomplished together that kind of gave us that identity of like, we can do hard things, was because we struggled with finances for a while in the beginning of our marriage, that it didn't hit me and I didn't want to try until it seemed feasible, because we would talk about these like huge numbers and I'm like, nah, we can never save that, or we're never going to pay that off or whatever. And so it wasn't until like these
I showed you
small like baby steps where I was like, oh, I could do this. Oh, and I could do that. And listening to testimonies like the David Ramsey podcast, where you're like, I think that's the beauty of social media, because I think before that, you're just kind of doing it on your own. But if you see someone, and if you use social media for good, you see someone that's in exactly your shoes, and you're like, oh, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. But that's very like a thin line, because then you start comparing yourself, and comparison can be a thief of joy for sure. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think how you said like the dreaming, that's like the first step of like dream, like make these goals is like really important, at least for me.
I will contradict you a little bit. You said that we started off the finances like slow, and we did not. We did not start with little. And that is where there was a lot of growing pains for you. And because obviously I flipped the switch and I'm like, we're going to save every single penny and every single dime and anything. And hold on. And we're going to go hard. And then the evidence started to show up. And I feel like the evidence started to like at least give you a little breath of fresh air. And then you'd be seeing the finish line and you're like, okay, at the finish line, we're going to change things up and I'm going to be able to breathe a little bit more. And you would buckle down, but it definitely caused a lot of friction. And that kind of brings me to my next point, which is obviously who you surround yourself with, the culture that you're in will definitely either help you. It could potentially make or break you reaching your goal. Like if you want to be financially wise and you're surrounded by unwise financial people, then you're ruined.
Okay, so like in Atomic Habits, where it says like if 80% of the people you surround yourself with like overweight or broke, then you're going to be
exactly. I think the culture just makes or breaks what you're trying to do. So like I said, from the very beginning, I've repeated it many, many times, but you write a specific goal. That specific goal is going to then reveal to you the steps that you need to take to be able to do those goals. And the best way for you to reinforce you being able to reach those goals and reinforce the steps that you need to take is to surround yourself with people that are thinking like you and doing things like you, because then it's almost like the same thing that we've talked about before. Like if you want to learn a language, you immerse yourself with people that are speaking that language. Like there is no other way for you to learn that language. And so in the same way, you should immerse yourself in a culture of people that are chasing a certain goal, working towards a goal, have a plan as well, like that are really reinforcing what you need to do, because how else are you expected to do this? Like you're not going to be able to do this alone. Whether we like it or not, we will always need people. And I believe culture is a huge part of it.
I agree.
But yeah, so that kind of brings us to the end, which is, it's so important for us to have these goals, and it's so important for us to plan. Again, if we do not plan for success, then we plan to fail. And we honestly do not want to see anybody fail. And it goes back to the first episode of the season where we were like, how many chances have we gotten? Like it's about seizing those chances and being like, hey, what am I going to do with these chances? I'm going to make a specific goal. I'm going to have this plan. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to have integrity. I'm going to have discipline. I'm going to surround myself in the culture. I'm going to chase after the knowledge that I need. And like, you're going to go after this. And again, we talked about it. Even if we don't reach that specific goal, you should have data that tells you like there has been growth. Even if I reached only 75% of the way, well, guess what? You're 75% better than when you started. So like, there's no way that you lose in this. Like you can like look at it and be like, well, I'm going to fail. Like, and I said it before, like you do not fail unless you quit. If you do not quit, you still have tomorrow. Keep going. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, we just really care about you guys. We've had this work for us, and we are here for you guys. If you guys ever need help with organizing these thoughts or picking a specific goal and helping you plan out what the specific steps are going to be, we're here for you guys. We are praying for you guys. And we just want 2026 for 2026 to be a different year for you. A more successful year, a more productive year, a year where you can quantify the growth that's happening. Because how many years have we gone through years where we go like, yeah, I guess, like I was a little bit better, but you don't have the facts. You don't have it on paper. And it's good to have it on paper. It's good to know like, this is where I started. This is where I'm at now.
And David truly means what he says. I think people have reached out to him time and time again. I've seen it in his personal circle. Men where he's willing to drop what he's doing, go meet with them, give them counsel. And so I hope you guys hear like his heart when he says like, we're here, it's because we're here, we're willing. It's not something that I feel like other people, we hear them say, oh, we're willing to help. But I can vouch for you and say that you 100% mean what you say. Yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah, just know that, we really care about you guys. We want to see everybody succeed. And, yeah, we will, continue moving forward all together, better every day, 1% better every day. And 2026 is going to be a great year.
Yes, it is.
Believe it. And yeah, we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.